And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Signposts. Happy winter solstice to everybody. All right, December 21st. This is a very powerful time now between this exact point right now, December 21st, and the next year of winter solstice, December 21st of 2024. There is going to be some big changes ahead, big transformations ahead. So we're going to be looking at that today through a particular zodiac spread. Really looking into the nature of the dark cartels and what is going to befall them as we get into the new year of 2024, the year of overhaul. So I'm looking forward to sharing all this information with you today. We're also going to be doing a guided meditation for the winter solstice, first and foremost after announcements, and then we'll be getting right into that reading of the tarot spread, doing a zodiac spread on the fall of the dark cartels for 2024, as that is what is going to happen. So first and foremost, before we go ahead and begin, we have the promo code here, Xmas22, for 22% off orders on etherics.co. The source flashlights are now in. They are now available. And of course, I don't have one with me, but I do have one of the source laser pens here. So the source laser pens, the source flashlights, all of the light technology is now available. And they are going to be getting sent out quite quickly. I have an affiliate warehouse in Ontario, Canada, and they are fulfilling all of the source flashlights and Taurus bed kit orders as well too. So Taurus bed kit orders are also available for this discount, Xmas22 for 22% off your order. Again, go to etherics.co. You can also follow our YouTube channel at youtube.com/@ethericsstore. So go ahead and check those out. As I mentioned last week, the Signposts is moving to Rumble. So first episode is January 4th, 2024. It is going to be live and uncensored. And what I'd recommend you guys do is after today's broadcast, after the recording, come back to, or after the live broadcast, come to the recording, and then you'll see on the video description the direct link to my Rumble. Okay, so I'm going to have the direct link to my Rumble channel up there. You can also just find me on Rumble. It's not really hard. You're just basically typing in the Signposts. You could also type in New Earth Teachings, right? So if I'm going to rumble.com right now, and I just type that in, right? So I'm on Rumble. I'll just go into the search bar and I'll type in the Signposts. Okay. Actually, it might be a little bit harder to find me through that way. I thought it'd be pretty easy, but I have to remember, oh, yeah, that's right, I don't have any videos up yet for the Signposts. So we could try New Earth Teachings. I'm not sure if that one's any better. Probably not. Okay. No, I do have to get my link up. Rumble is not like YouTube, where I'm just basically showing up right away because I don't have any videos on my channel. So I'll have a direct link to the Signposts. I am going to be putting up an introductory video today on Rumble as well too. So it's a little easier to find me. Okay. So again, after today's live broadcast, come back to the recording and check the video description, and I'll have my direct link to my Rumble channel there. Like I said, the first episode isn't starting until January 4th, so we got some time. But it'd be really good to be on Rumble. That way everything is uncensored. There's a lot of things I'd like to share on YouTube, but I can't because of censorship, right? So when I go onto Rumble, it really is going to be raw, live, and uncensored. There's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm going to be sharing that I don't have to worry about the censorship demons there. So I'm looking forward to that. That again is happening on January 4th. And speaking of January, I am going to be interviewing Janine Morigo once again, Tarot from Janine, Tarot by Janine, I should say. Tarot by Janine, again, she's going to be coming on the channel here Friday, January 5th, so the day after my Rumble debut. Janine is going to be on here, and she's going to be taking live questions, okay? So I will be posting a link to the Zoom registration. Okay, that's going to be up on my YouTube posts. Okay, it's also going to be up on my Facebook, and it will also be up on Telegram as well too. So if you guys have gone to the Signposts Telegram group, I would suggest you do that as well too. Okay, you can find the link in the video description, the direct link to the Signposts Telegram. Okay, because I will be posting it there. So as soon as you click on that, you'll see that in the very top of the description, new Signpost Telegram group, join for free. Okay, and you'll see the link there. And I'd encourage all of you to sign up. It's free. There's a great community building there. Got a lot of people on there already. So I will be putting up the Zoom link for Janine's interview on January 5th. Again, it will be here on the posts of YouTube and Facebook as well too. So looking forward to talking to Janine again. I know she's very much a busybody, right? She's been very, very busy. It's been very difficult just to try to reschedule her because there's so many people that want to try and grab her attention and get her on shows and stuff like that. And I basically just told her, I said, well, Janine, you know, my subscribers here really want to see you again. They really want to talk to you. And it's not so much for my sake, because, you know, don't get me wrong, I appreciate you greatly, but it's much more for the subscribers, right? The subscribers really want to ask you a lot of deep questions, and they want to hear from you. And so then she said, okay, great, we'll go ahead and we'll do that. And so here's January 5th coming up at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So again, like I said, it's thanks to you guys, right? You guys, the subscribers, wanting to talk to Janine. Janine listens, and she's here because she was really trying to get booked with many other shows as well too. And I just letting her know the importance of my subscribers and them wanting to talk to you. And she came together, and here we are, January 5th. So looking forward to that. It's going to be another great interview. I believe that's our 5th interview together, right? So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Okay, let's move on. Okay, private sessions. So I'm basically on holidays right now, so I won't be taking any private sessions until early start of January. But nonetheless, if you want to book ahead, you can take a look at private sessions, distance healing sessions, 3-question private sessions by email, and the full body source healing sessions, again, which also include the add-ons of the energy scan and the nutrition scan. Not to mention, again, that the nutrition scan is also a standalone session, so you can look into that as well too. Available at newearthteachings.com. Okay, and finally, everything on this YouTube channel is backed up onto Odyssey, odyssey.com/@newearthteachings. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Again, I have my secondary camera here, which is going to be filming the Zodiac Spread, which we're going to get to here in a few minutes. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and start off with the guided meditation for the winter solstice. Okay, so all I need you guys to do for this meditation is just get yourself nice and relaxed, making sure the spine is nice and straight. Just breathing in and out through the nose, right? We're going to basically do a little bit of heart rate variability, right? Just to get ourselves into a subtle state of being, or basically what I refer to as dilation, right? We're getting ourselves dilated, and then we'll be going through the winter solstice, as you guys will be helping and assisting bringing the solstice energies onto the earth, okay? Solstice energies basically represent the pure spiritual energy. It's kind of like a blurred line between the material world and the immaterial world, between the physical world and between the spiritual world, and we're helping to widen that blur. That's really what we're doing in this meditation today, okay? So with the spine nice and straight, we're going to breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the nose, 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. We're going to do this a few times. Then we'll get right into the guided meditation. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Last time, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and relax. Now I want you just to feel yourself in your body right now, just being aware of the bottom of your feet, bringing that awareness up through the legs, up through the waist, up to the top of the chest, up past the shoulders and up past the neck, up past the face and right to the top of the head. And just being aware of your entire body. I want you just to feel like you are just feeling your own astral body, just feeling this presence of yourself behind the flesh, behind the physical body, just rising up, right? Like your phantom body. Just rising up, like standing up if you're seated, just feeling your phantom body standing up, and you're now just feeling yourself growing, getting bigger and bigger and bigger, getting bigger than your entire living space, getting bigger than your own neighborhood, getting bigger than your own town or city, getting bigger than your own country, getting bigger than all of the continents, and getting bigger than the earth. And just seeing yourself in this gigantic phantom body, where the earth can now just fit comfortably in the palm of your hand. And you are looking down at the earth, and you can see this ripple that is taking place right now. Through the nature of the solstice, you're feeling this ripple, and it's converging with the physical earth. With the physical timelines, it's connecting together with the physical material, with the physicalized beings on the earth, and with the earth herself. I want you just to place your right hand upon the heart. I want you just to feel your heart opening up. I want you just to tell your greater self to open up your heart as wide as it can expand. Say this with great sincerity and great truth. To open up my heart as wide as it can expand, for I will assist in anchoring these beautiful energies of the solstice upon the planet Earth now. And just feel your heart widening, widening, widening even more. And just placing your hands up in transmission posture. And I want you to feel all of this beautiful white light coming out of the heart and just flowing through the nadi channels of the arms, those flowing energy channels of the arms where it's now flowing into the palms. And you're just connecting to that rippling energy of the solstice, where you can feel the singularity at the center of the earth. You can feel the singularity at the center of the earth with all of that rippling energy emanating from that center point, from that singularity, from this alignment today. And I want you to feel all of the goodness, all of the splendor, all of the compassion, all of the joy and the bliss that represents this rippling of winter solstice energy. As the planet is in a particular alignment today, and she is potent with this powerful, rippling energy in between the worlds, the physical and the spiritual, the material and the immaterial. And you are just absorbing some of that ripple. You're absorbing some of that ripple to connect and to mix together with your own white light emanating through your palms. You feel that ripple mixing together with that white light. As you can feel the joy and the splendor of the earth as she moves into this harmonic alignment today. And we're now just taking our white light from our heart and we're shining it down upon the earth. We're mixing it in with that rippling energy between the physical and the spiritual. And all of that energy is now just pouring down upon the lands of the earth. You can certainly focus on your country, but be certain to also focus on all of the lands of the earth. Be certain to focus on all of the oceans, all of the great lakes of the earth, all of the great seas of the earth. And I just want you to feel that rippling energy of your own white light mixing together with the rippling energy of the solstice. The solstice energy and your own white light energy converging together. And you're just feeling these vortexes of energy anchoring deeper and deeper into the heart of the earth, upon every single country, upon every single piece of land, upon islands, throughout all of the continents of the planet, throughout all of the islands of the planet, throughout all of the oceans of the planet. You are just seeing more and more of these vorticular ripples forming through the land, through the oceans. You are bringing the solstice energy deeper and deeper into the heart of the earth, going deeper into the subterranes, going deeper into the mantle of the earth, moving closer and closer to her core, where the pure love of your heart intermixed with these ripplings are moving into the heart, the singularity of the earth. And all of these points are connecting directly to the core of the earth. You are shining your love upon the planet. You are shining your love upon the Divine Mother. You are anchoring in these energies, these pristine energies that are lifting out the darkness, that are lifting out chaos, that are lifting out corruption, that are lifting out duality. And everything is just folding back into itself beautifully. The solstice energy, which resides both from within and without, is folding from without back within, and folding from within back without. And I want you just to take these precious 60 seconds to think of the most beautiful and loving and compassionate events that you can feel from your heart. And I want you to put that with your intentions as you're sending this energy to the earth. Think of all the events that are beautiful. Think of all the events that are compassionate. Think of all of the events that bring about that tranquility, that peacefulness, that joy, that bliss. See those events within your mind and send those events from your mind through the energy that you're bringing onto the earth now. See that blurring line now starting to widen, where you can feel the physical and the spiritual together as one, where there is no longer just a fixed point. Your entire vision is now filled with the physical through the spiritual, and through the spiritual into the physical. You are both the yin and the yang. You are the entirety of it. And through this merging, this is where all of your greatest compassions, joy, happiness, love, intentions of events that bring you into such a heart-centered space, send that to the earth now. See the earth getting brighter, getting much more broader with your love that you are contributing, along with everyone else here that is sharing that love, that compassion, that joy, and that bliss with their divine Mother Earth. And I will give you a minute of silence now to just be with your loving joy and putting that into the earth. 1 minute, beginning now. And taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out, knowing that all of your intentions that you have put forward to the earth are being fulfilled, knowing that everything that you have intended through your energy, through your light, through your heart space is now bonded together with the earth, and you will see those events that you have shared personally come to life through you, come to life through your reality. And just feeling your hands now starting to cease with the rippling of your own energy together with the rippling of the solstice energy. Just closing your hands and bringing both hands upon the heart and just blessing the heart as you're feeling the heart now starting to close back up, returning the blossoming of the flower back within to the heart, closing itself back up, giving your heart a love and blessing. Thank you, dear heart. Thank you for opening. Thank you for your spirit light. And you're now just feeling yourself starting to shrink down now, starting to minimize the body, bringing yourself back down into your own home country, into your own hometown or city, directly into your own living space, and feeling your own astral body merge back together in harmony with the physical body, knowing that everything that you have put forward shall be fulfilled here and now. With love and appreciation, namaskar. And thank you for joining me for this meditation exercise. All right. So taking a deep breath in, deep breath out. And when you're ready, you can come back into the present moment. All right. Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me for that meditation. That's just a wonderful way of helping to bring the solstice energies in. Like I said, it is a very precious time right now, with the idea of the solstice energies being so ripe, being so strong, being so powerful, and you being able to ride the wave of those solstice energies, being able to put your own love and compassion and joy, whatever your own heart-centered desires, your wholesome desires are, you're being able to ride that wave. You're surfing that wave of the solstice energies, because this, again, is where the earth is extremely powerful today, right? And we're helping just to bring all of that goodness onto the earth through your own wholesome desires. So great work. Okay, so we're going to go ahead now and move on to the big reading today regarding the year of 2024 and pertaining to, is this the end of the dark cartels? Will we be seeing the end, the collapse, the final nail in the coffin when it comes to the dark cartels? That's exactly why we're doing this reading here today, to see exactly what the cards say about that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and just switch my camera view so you guys can see my video here, and I'll also put my secondary video on here in just a moment. I'll put that on there too. Okay, so I'll just put myself there. All right, that way you can see my face, not just my arms. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with that. Let me just adjust the camera here a bit. There we go. Okay. So, I'm going to give the deck a good shuffle. So like I said, we are going to be doing a Zodiac spread. So this involves 13 cards. I'm just making sure I have enough room on my desk. This does take up quite a bit of room to do this reading. So we're going to be looking into the Zodiac spread, just looking into the year of 2024 and saying, what does the year 2024 hold for the dark cartels of this world? Right? So that is really the question. What does the year 2024 hold for the dark cartels of this world? And let's see what we're getting here through the Zodiac spread. Okay, let's go ahead and see. Really like to shuffle these cards well. That's just how I do it. Okay, so this right here is the first house. This is representing Mars. Okay, the second house representing Taurus. The third house representing Gemini. The fourth house representing Cancer. The fifth house representing Leo. The 6th house, representing Virgo. The 7th house, representing Libra. The 8th house, representing Scorpio. Oh, yeah. Well, that might actually be good news. So, the 9th house, representing Sagittarius. The 10th house, representing Capricorn. Let me just bring these down a little bit more. There we go. Okay. So 10th house, representing Capricorn. The 11th house, representing Aquarius. And the 12th house, representing Pisces. And then here we are in the middle of what this all means to us. Okay? So this takes just a few minutes just to kind of dissect everything, find out where everything is aspecting each other. So we have the 1st house here. We have Mars. We have the ego. So there's going to be more playing of games. There's going to be more of attempting to suppress the truth. There's going to be more false flag campaigns, right? There's going to be more garbage, more psyop agendas in that particular way. At least that's what they're trying to plan to do, right? With the Aries, with their fire, with their aggression, with their agendas, with their books. Trying to say, okay, let's try this, let's try that, let's try and roll out our smart cities, let's try and get more money out of the people, let's try and do this, let's try and take care of that, right? So there's a lot of meddling, okay? There's a lot of meddling there, but then as we go into the 7th house here, which is aspecting the 1st, which is Libra, Libra representing the idea that, well, something good is going to come out of this, because this really can deal with partnership, it can deal with travel, it can deal with publicity, sometimes it can also deal with war, right? And basically I'm seeing that there's going to be peace where they're trying war, right? They're basically going to try to manufacture more wars, but peace is going to come out of this. And so it feels like a lot of these things that they're trying to plan to do are going to be nullified, are going to be canceled out, right? So the 7th house representing Libra, again, which can relate to the idea of war and controversy as well too, is basically going to try and cancel out because we have the Ace of Pentacles here. So this is representing that peace is going to reign upon the land anytime that they're trying to bring about more wars, because the Israel situation, Israel and Gaza, is not going to last. It's going to fall apart just like Ukraine did. And so they're going to try and meddle with something else. But again, this incredible power of peace, this Ace of Pentacles, this great wealth, this great abundance in that sense, is going to say, well, they can try, but it's not going to get them anywhere. It's almost like an immunity, right? So again, that is a beautiful expression right there. So no doubt they're going to try to meddle. No doubt they're going to try and continue to cover up everything. They're just losing everything so fast. There is so much that is cascading at breakneck speed here. Everything is just collapsing. We're watching their ivory tower just getting blown up. We're seeing these explosions left, right, and center throughout their ivory tower, and everything's just ready to go to free fall. Okay, and we're seeing that. So here's the 2nd house. 2nd house representing Taurus, which is really all about money, financial situations. Okay, so the 2nd house is connected with the 8th house. Oh, they're going to lose it all. They're going to lose everything. Okay, they are basically, everything's just basically being rewritten here. This is exactly why I would refer to 2024 being the year of overhaul. Okay, everything is being rewritten behind the scenes. There's a lot of stuff that's not going to be shared publicly, especially when we're looking into the idea of the MSM. Guys, I don't really have to explain this to my subscribers. Okay, you know you're never going to find the truth in MSM, right? If they ever think, well, maybe one day they'll get, no. Just shut off that television, okay? And trust your heart, right? There may be some people that you'll find in the alternative streams who are giving some really great information, and that's great. But like I said, you're feeling it for yourself here. And we're seeing this here, representing the devil, temptation. It's kind of like they're reaching for their wealth. They're reaching for their fortune. Oh my God, come on, I have to get it, I gotta get it. And it's just being taken away from them, right? They are dying. They are completely dying out. And 2024 could actually be the culmination, the final nail in the coffin, just by looking at this pairing alone here with the devil together with the 10 of Swords. I mean, this is ruin, this is defeat, this is destruction. This is complete and total annihilation of the corrupt. right? So scandals, death, right, representing the nature of Scorpio. All of these secrets coming out, pain, torture, aggression, right? Everything pertaining to their scandalous secrets are going to be revealed more and more, and it's just lowering them deeper into the earth. That coffin is going deeper and deeper into the earth, and the final nail is going to be driven in, and they are just submerging themselves 6 feet. Well, I wouldn't even say 6 feet under. It's more like 6,666 feet under. That's really where they're going, right? They're basically going into the depths. So we are seeing the whole idea in that sense of everything that they have tried to uphold is going to fall apart, right? They're really not going to have any stroke anymore. Just everything that they're trying to plan, everything that they're trying to bamboozle, everything that they're trying to, in a corrupt way, manufacture through themselves is going to fall apart. Doesn't matter if they're trying to build all the pieces, put all the pieces together. Everything pertaining to those pieces are going to fall apart. There's just no cohesion anymore. It's all just scattered. Even a lot of these cartels themselves are scattered. They're even fighting over each other. They're fighting over the morsels that they have. Countries are starting to rewrite their own constitutions. Countries are now starting to rewrite laws. There's new actions being put in place that is basically going to bust them. They're basically beating these criminals at their own game, right? So we are seeing them completely fall apart here, particularly in 2024. Then we come to the third house. Third house representing Gemini. Gemini is all about communication, speech, right? So we have temperance here. And going into aspecting the ninth house representing Sagittarius and good fortune. It looks like things are going to be shifting over. There's going to be a whole new states of governments in place. Again, this is also confirming the nature of overhaul, right? So we have synthesis, we have transmutation, we have great change taking place, we have a rebalancing. There's a rebalancing of power. And a lot of this feels very organic. It feels very like power being returned back to humanity, okay? Things are going to start moving into an appropriate direction that is going to affect the entire world. This synthesis, this change, this is going to affect the entire world. Of course, the ninth house representing Sagittarius is all about good fortune. It's about good fortune. It's sometimes about spiritual advice, spiritual advancement. It can also be about travel. It can also be about a father in that way. But really, I'm saying that it's much more about good fortune, right? Good fortune is going to come back to the people. This is going to affect the entire planet. So we're going to see some more, like I said, there's attempted scandals, but I don't see them going anywhere. Just like how they were doing attempted scandals this year, and it really didn't go anywhere either. Like I said, this is really a time of action here. So we're seeing synthesis, we're seeing transmutation, we're seeing change, we're seeing rebalancing taking place here. And that again could represent the idea of the exchange of wealth. It could also represent the idea of commonwealth pertaining to many different countries. It feels like the entire world is going to be affected by these monumental changes because there's going to be some massive exposures that are going to sink their ship, right? The cartels themselves feel like they're just going under. And we come now to the fourth house representing Cancer, which is a lot about household. It can be about property as well too. Okay, so forms of property, whether it's a home, whether it's a car, whether it's even again corporations in that sense, representing the nature of property. And that is aspecting with the 10th house. The 10th house is that of Capricorn. Capricorn is all about government. Okay, it's about popularity, it's about status. Okay, so we're seeing the whole idea that the property is being rebuilt. The entire landscape of everything that represents mankind's systems are being completely and totally overhauled. This is like the third time I'm seeing overhaul confirmation in 2024. So exactly why I'm terming it the Year of Overhaul, right? It is all about things being rebuilt. It is all about support. It's like the idea of countries working together with other countries to repair so much damage that has been done from these criminal cartels, these dark cartels. And now we're seeing strength. So in that sense, we're seeing something new rise. We're seeing something new come to the surface. We're seeing those grassroots really blossoming, right? We're seeing that expansion. We're seeing great growth here. There's courage, there's strength, there's more people who are going to be whistleblowers. that are going to be coming up, right? So there's popularity, there's status, there's fame. And I think a lot of people that are going to come forward that are going to reveal a lot of these inner workings of what's happened behind the scenes, they're going to be the rock stars, right? They're going to be the celebrities. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here, is we're seeing a lot of whistleblowers, maybe some new whistleblowers that may be coming out that have vital information, or even people who have been here for many years, who have been blowing the whistle for quite some time, are finally going to be getting the attention that they deserve, right? Sharing a great deal of information that needs to come out, that needs to help other people, right? So we're seeing that strength card, and that strength is all about that boosting. You're getting that boosting of popularity, you're getting that boosting of fame, right? So there's going to be a lot more whistleblowers coming out. There's going to be maybe some big documentaries coming out. It could also be some events taking place to really expose a lot more about what's been happening behind the scenes. There's so much, right? And that is really something that is getting so many people's attention right now, are these whistleblowers, these people who have been behind the scenes, and they've decided right now, okay, it's time for me, right? I've gotten that sign from the divine to come through and share what I know. And we're going to see a lot more of that, particularly in 2024. It is not a good year for the dark cartels, all right? This literally could be, can't give a 100%, but this literally could be the time to where they fall, right? Even after they fall, there's still going to be remnants of them, right? But I think a lot of the main bulk of them is going to be on collapse. So far from what I'm seeing here from the Zodiac Spread, it is not going to be good for them at all right? So now we go over to the fifth house. The fifth house represents the Knight of Cups. This is kind of like an emotional card, okay? This is kind of feeling like an intuitive card. Very emotional, relating to the idea of love being just shining across the entire planet, right? There's emotion being involved here. There's healing taking place where there has been wreckage, okay? So the fifth house is aspecting the 11th house, which represents Aquarius, which is often a house of gains, all right? And this looks like the ivory tower. It's interesting that the tower here has come up, because that's kind of what I'm seeing here in foresight, is I'm seeing their ivory tower just blowing up, right? Getting struck by lightning, knocking themselves down. The gains in that sense is that they're finished, right? It's more of a gaining for humanity. It certainly is not a gaining for the dark cartels. They are basically falling. Like I said, this is literally, it could be the year where their entire ivory tower just goes into free fall, right? We're just watching this gigantic, it's like looking at Lord of the Rings, right? The two towers, right? Isengard just falling down. That's kind of what I'm getting here, is like we're just seeing them in a state of free fall, and we're seeing them plummeting from that tower. That is a very appropriate image relating to the tower, right? So here we go. Here's the tower right there, okay? So they are in free fall. They are falling apart. Their empire is being completely destroyed. This is happening all the time. That's the amazing thing about all of this. You are basically seeing more and more of their old empire and their old civilization just burning to the ground more and more every day. It's like you're seeing more and more lightning strikes. It's like if you could see 1,000 lightning strikes on this powerful tower, just blowing up, blowing up, blowing up. And it's doing this on a daily basis, my friends, okay? This is happening right now. But I think that we're basically watching the entire tower going from just parts of it being blown up to basically having a cascading free fall that is going to be taking place. So there is almost like an emotional victory here, right? So there's an emotional transformation, and we're going to see a lot more dirty stuff, right? We're going to see a lot more dirty stuff. We're going to see a lot more scandalous stuff. We're going to see a lot more horrible things taking place. But again, this needs to come out because humanity needs to know exactly what's been under their feet for a very, very long time. We have to know that we've been stepping on manure. We haven't been stepping on solid ground, right? And we have to look at all that manure that we've been stepping in and not realizing that it's manure. Oh, it must have just been soft ground. No, you're walking in manure, and you have to see that, right? So that is exactly what this is. It's going to be an emotional time. It's going to be some people like, oh, biting their nails, and there may be people celebrating as well, too, at the same time. It's a very emotional card. It won't really just say with the idea of, oh, it's love and compassion. No, it's something that could also represent scarcity, something that could represent great anxiety, right? It could be very upsetting to a lot of people who, again, are still in the dark about what is going on, right? We could call them the normies, the sleepers, right? The worldly, whatever you want to term them. They're going to be just as scared as a lot of the corrupt that are falling, right? It's like that old analogy that I've kept saying about the Titanic, right? You have rescue ships coming in. They're trying to reach for people's hands like, no, the government's going to save me. Get your hand away from me. They'll take care of me. Your ship is sinking. We're trying to rescue. No, they'll find a way to get me off this ship. Don't worry about it. I trust in the government. I'm pretty sure we have less and less people with that now. But that, again, is the whole point. This has all been part of a data dump. This has all been part of a truth kaboom that has needed to happen to wake people up tremendously so that they now realize that there has been a war that has been going on for many centuries, and it's now just about to come to an end. We are about to see this great war that has been on earth, that has been within the heavens as well too, that has been fighting from all sides. It's about to culminate. It's about to come to an end. And I would say this is a victory for the divine. This is a victory for the light. This is a victory for the good people, the good-hearted people, the people who do not want to screw people over, the people who want to offer their heart, their charity, their love, their empathy, their compassion to the planet. They are the ones who are going to be running things, right? And we're moving in that direction. So that's what I'm getting from that combination. Now we move over to the 6th house, which again is Virgo. Virgo often relates to the idea of service and labor, right? It can also represent enemies in that way. But we're now starting to see rebirth. We're seeing rebirth in that sense about how humanity operates, how humanity works, the services that will be coming together, what we provide people in that sense, the labors that we have. So we're seeing a powerful awakening, a great awakening. And this may represent the idea of the falling away of more of their corporations. Like I said, corporations may be overhauled. But again, we have been seeing these groups doing nothing but stealing the hearts and souls of people ever since day one, right? And it's just about more and more liberation of people taking their power back because they're being informed. They're no longer seeing themselves as a slave, right? They're seeing themselves opening up. Here's the phoenix rising from the ashes. My screen is frozen here for a second. Hope you guys can still hear me okay. The phoenix rising from the ashes and seeing this magnificence, right? This beautiful transcendental state coming together. And that's what's happening to the people. A lot of these cartels who will basically just call these people, these people are just useless eaters. They just feed off everything. They're useless, right? They're basically feeding off you, right? No, this is not what's happening. We're cracking that shell. We're rising from the ashes. There's a transcendentalism that's taking place here in the 6th house. This is connecting together with the 12th house, okay? So 6th house Virgo, 12th house Pisces, which often represents the nature of loss. It can also represent charity. It can also represent the ending of a cycle as well too, right? So in that sense, they are carrying so much weight and they're buckling under themselves. They're buckling under the pressure and they're going to lose everything, right? These cartels will have nothing left once they are fully exposed. They'll have absolutely nothing. Maybe they'll have bread and water in a jail cell. I don't know. Maybe that's the best thing that they will have. But this is telling me that they are completely losing their grip. They are completely losing everything. They have bit off more than they can chew. They have tried absolutely everything possible, and they're failing, right? They're basically just getting exhausted. What do we have to do to maintain our power? You can't do anything. Your days of messing around with this planet, your days of trying to feel like you can rule this planet, of having authority here, are done, right? And they're finished. So, is this the final nail in the coffin of 2024 that represents the dark cartel? It feels like a high possibility. I can't say it's definite, but it certainly seems like a high possibility. It feels like, again, the free fall of their ivory tower. And they're going to get hit hard, and they're going to get hit fast. And so it's going to be crippling to them. Will it be the last nail in the coffin? Possibly. It's a high possibility, but it's not a definite. I would say it's about an 80%, 85%, 80 to 85% chance that that could take place. They still may try to persevere into 2025 as well too, but not without getting major critical blows to them, right? And these critical blows can cause them to lose connections to all these different countries, which again, they have informants with, they have authority figures with, and I feel like a lot of them are going to get the boot, right? So we're seeing the 13th card here, how this affects everything, right? And we have the King of Wands. Well, here we go. Here's the action error, right? Here's the nature of the King of Wands, actions being taken. Let's pull the plug, okay? That may be, again, back to the analogy of the chessboard that I was talking about, where you have the Dark Cartel's king just huddled up in the corner. He's going to do something stupid. And that's what's going to happen, okay? So I feel that 2024 could be the idea where they're moving in on the king, okay? He finally does something really, really stupid. And then they move in, they take care of it. And there's going to be a lot of military action in 2024. Of course, we've seen quite a bit here in 2023. It feels like it's going to be stepped up even further. There's going to be a lot more military action taking place. You know, a lot of people have talked about the nature of the 17th letter of the alphabet, right? The villain in Star Trek: The Next Generation. That letter that comes after P. That letter that comes before the letter R. You guys know what I'm talking about? I hope so. What's the 17th letter of the alphabet? Pretty sure you guys can say it in chat. It's okay, right? But when you're really looking at the source of that, when you're looking at the source behind all of that pertaining to military intelligence, that is extremely accurate, okay? It's not about the peripherals around that particular source because they're basically just BSing each other, okay? But when you really look at the heart of that source, because Adronis has talked about what that source is going back a couple of years, right? He always says that the 17th letter of the alphabet is not a single person. It is a group consciousness, particularly. You're looking at military generals that are part of this larger group that works alongside the President of the United States. And who is the actual President of the United States? It's not Mr. B, it's Mr. T. He still is technically president, right? And that there has been a lot of talk, too, about, this is something that's also happened going back in a couple years as well, too, about another particular person who was presumed dead, right? And who is not dead, but is basically around the scenes. And I basically have given theories that either he's in deep hiding or maybe he is taking on another alias in that sense. And his initials are JFK, ending with a junior, okay? And I was doing some readings on that just recently. He is very much alive. He is very much taking a part in the background of things. He is actually advising things, and he may also have a particular type of sub-presidential title as well, too. Now, I can't say if he's going to reveal himself in front of people. It just feels like he may still stay behind the scenes. He may be staying as kind of that official sub-presidential, I'm trying to avoid censorship here, right? So sub-presidential title in that sense. But he is very much alive, and he is very much helping out with the 17th letter of the alphabet and with the true prez. Okay? Other than that, I don't know. I don't have an idea of his look or anything of that nature, but we've talked about this going back years, like going back 2021, even in 2022. I was talking about that because people would ask me, Brad, is JFK Jr. still alive? And the feeling I got was, yes, he is. But I feel like he's under another alias, or again, he's just working really behind the scenes, just being able to help out with this. He's an incredibly intelligent person. That's exactly what I've gotten from readings. He's incredibly smart. He has a very high IQ. He's extremely intelligent. He's very much connected. And he's helping out with Mr. T, right? So there's a lot of change that is happening together. And there's a lot of scandals even as well, too. They're trying to make it feel like Mr. T is not able to run campaigns in Colorado. Guys, don't believe the bullshit. Okay, that's complete and total BS. Because that won't happen, right? The whole idea is that he will certainly be able to run caucuses. He certainly will be able to run campaigns. But they're trying to make it look like that he can't, when in fact he'll be able to, right? So do not believe a single word that anything that the MSM tries to dump out regarding the T-Man. Maybe that's what I'll start calling him. For the sake of censorship, right? Calling him the T-Man. They're saying, oh, he can't run in Colorado, and Colorado has blunked him out. Yeah, complete BS. And this, of course, is coming from MSNBC. So go figure, right? No, he can absolutely run. There's nothing that is stopping him from that. And they're basically trying to say that to try and divert, right, his rise, because it is very, very likely, I can't guarantee it, it's very, very likely that he will be put back into office, because technically he still is the president. He never lost that, right? Because the whole idea of the ceremony with the B-man was never legit, right? That was garbage. There, again, if you look back into the ceremony, there's so many errors, there's so many problems. Basically, that whole thing was pre-recorded. It almost looks like it was a green screen. That is not an official presidency initiation that was taking place. So we've talked about that too, and that happened going back all those years ago, right? And I said that is not an official presidency, that is not an official initiation. That's nothing but a Hollywood special effects stage, and that is nothing but garbage, right? So the T-man is still technically president of the United States. He never lost it. He never has lost it. And he's still running things behind the scenes. It's exactly why he's, for the nature of for the story, right, for the nature of the movie, that he has to put on this show and thinking, oh, he's not elected. He's still running things. Everybody's answering to him. Generals of the United States are answering to him. Nobody's really answering. No, Mr. B really has nobody who he comes to and basically says, oh, this is, Mr. President, can we do this, right? He has none of that privilege. It's nothing but special effects. It's nothing but scripts. It's nothing but Hollywood bogus garbage, right? Mr. T has always been the president now, even going on 8 years. He still is that. That's kind of the funny thing, right? Judith asked, is Juan O'Sullivan JFK Jr.? We've looked into that before, and the answer was most likely yes, right? We can never put our 100% finger on it, but most likely yes, right? Now, I know Janine has talked about him as well too, and I've looked into him. This is going back a couple of years, because I looked into him as well too, and I was asking that question. I was getting very positive cards, but I didn't know if I could draw a 100% conclusion, but the reading looked good, right? It was a very good possibility, so I would say it's probably about a 90% chance of saying yes, okay? So, yes, perhaps more of this stuff will be coming out in 2024, right? Are you guys familiar with a fellow by the name of David Straight? Okay, if you guys are familiar with a fellow named David Straight, I would suggest you watch a lot of his videos, okay? A lot of people have criticized him. A lot of people have basically bashed him to the ground, saying what this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. He was basically telling everybody what the 17th letter of the alphabet really is. And he said it almost exactly the same way as Adronis said it. It's not an individual, it's a group. Basically, he said it's 6 military agencies that represent these military personnel that are reporting directly to the president. Okay? That is what the 17th letter of the alphabet is. That is LMNOP RSTUV WX Y and Z. Maybe I can get away with that. Okay, so that is again what is taking place. Again, if you are familiar with David Straight, I would suggest you look at him. Okay, you can find him on YouTube. Name is just exactly as it sounds, David, last name Straight. Okay, a lot of the stuff he shared is stuff that I've shared as well too, so he's very much on par with that. He also looks into, I think he has a background as a lawyer or something like that. I think he personally knows Trump or claims to know him in that way. But he has very, very interesting information, right? And there's a lot of stuff that he says that I've tuned into, and I found it to be quite accurate. I haven't watched all of his stuff. I've only watched some of his stuff. But when I've looked into it, looked into what he has been sharing, a lot of accuracy is coming up, all right? So anyways, guys, that is the tarot reading. That is the Zodiac Spread. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to go ahead now, and I'll come back into this camera. And we're going to go ahead and take some questions from the audience. All right, so we're going to now move into Q&A segment. Just a reminder, guys, I'm not doing any healings today, okay? Healings will be taking place tomorrow. So distance healing requests will be waiting for tomorrow's broadcast, where I'll be doing New Earth TV Live. Adronis will be coming in through a transmission. He also is going to be talking more about 2024 in his own words. Okay, so he'll be talking about 2024, the Year of Overhaul. Okay, so that will be his discussion tomorrow on New Earth TV Live, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Time, 1 p.m. Eastern. So be sure to tune into that. All right. Okay, so let's change gears here and let's go into the chat. Okay, oops, bumping my button here. All right, I'm just going to scroll up to the top of the page. If you guys do have priority questions, you can feel free to submit a donation, and I will go right to your question as you get the donation in. Okay, otherwise I'm just going from the top down of the chat. Okay, so here's one from Turn Up Every Day. So again, guys, you can basically talk about current event questions, or if there's any other questions that are on your mind. I have no problem putting some insight on there if you want to ask for me to answer it, or for Adronis to answer it, or if you want to have the tarot to answer it. Just make sure you're putting that up in the in your post as well too. Okay. So this one is about flowers. Very interesting. Turn Up Every Day says, "Hi Brad, can Adronis elaborate on the power of working with flowers, like flower essences, or buying real flowers?" Okay, one moment. Terra Soul Star Sirius Adronis we are here. At this time, we bid you greetings, and thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction today. I am Adronis of Sirius, sending love, appreciation, and gratitude to all who are tuning in to this broadcast being brought forward through your internet collective consciousness. We want to thank you to the one terms themselves, Turn Up Every Day, for your question about flowers. The potency of working with flowers. Well, what is the best way? Well, if you truly want to work with the potency of flowers, don't pick them. That's really what it comes down to. If you're working together with the potency of flowers, you don't want to cut off their life force. If you decide to cut off their life force and you decide to pick them because you do want to make them in oils, the more quicker that you can do this, the better, because they will start to reach a state of decay within that 24-hour period. So if you pick it, immediately you should start processing it into an essential oil or in any other particular type of potency benefit you wish to acquire, you wish to work with. But if you really want to work with the nature of the potency of the flower to where it is in its state of pristine nature, this is where you let it stay in nature. Now, you may want to take a sample of a petal, for example. You may want to take a sample pertaining to a small leaf or anything of that nature, as long as it's not affecting the, shall we say, life force of the flower. That would be a recommendation. All right? So just making sure that you're taking care of it, preferably in the wild, because that is where it has its greatest potency. All right? If you do decide to, again, pull it from the wild, make sure you're working with it immediately so that potency stays as strong as it can. That's what we can share about that. Thank you very much. Okay, very good. I just had my phone beeping at me here, guys. Just 1 second. I'm just going to turn this thing off. All right. So I think I just have to exit end that call. There we go. Okay. I just go ahead and turn that off now. All right. So again, thank you, Turn Up Every Day, for your question. Hope that helped you. All right. So what I'm going to actually recommend, because I was getting this in flow, guys, let's see if we can try just to stick with current event questions for the signposts. Okay. So I know you guys do have some spiritual questions. Please let those questions come out tomorrow. I was just getting this download as I was tuning into Adronis. He said it's a good idea because this is a current events webcast. Let's try to keep the questions to current events, okay? And then tomorrow, if you guys do have more of those metaphysical questions, that's the perfect time to get it. Make sure you come back tomorrow, get some metaphysical questions going. We really wanted to stick with current events, okay? So just getting that download as I was tuning into him. So we're going to stick with that, okay? So again, guys, really just questions in regards to current events, okay? Let's see what we got here next. Okay, well, here's a current event here from Reba. Reba says, "Hi, Brad. Could you look into the XL bully dog legislation that is being brought in the UK? Will it be implemented in progress?" Okay, so about the XL bully dog legislation that is being brought into the UK. XL bully dog legislation. Interesting. I'm not familiar with that. But we'll take a look and see what the cards say about that. Okay. And just that as this is going to be implemented. Right? If this is going to be something that's going to be brought in. Okay. Okay. I don't think so. I think it's going to be denied, and I think if they try to implement it, it's not going to carry any weight or anything of that nature. So this is basically representing the querent here, okay, pertaining to what you're suggesting about a bully dog legislation, okay. And I don't feel like it's going to work. I don't think it's going to fly. Okay, I feel like it's going to fall apart. I feel like there's been, I'm not too sure what the whole agenda is behind this, but it feels like there's just been a balancing act in trying to get this into law, right? And of course, you know, what the government's best for doing is trying to write bills and all that. But I think it's going to be put to rest. I think it's going to be dismissed. I think it's going to be booted out, right? So I'm not really getting anything in that nature. It feels like there's been a lot of resistance towards this and trying to make this a law, and it feels like it's going to blow up. Okay, so answer to your question, it doesn't look like it's going to be progressing. I mean, if they are trying to bring it out through some type of bill, it's going to be opposed severely to where it will basically get canceled out anyways. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here for your question here. All right, thank you, Reba. Okay. Let's go down and see what else we have here. All right. So just give me a moment here, guys. I'm just going through the list here, seeing what questions we have. Yeah, Jane is basically saying they're losing every day. So many awake now. Yep, absolutely, right? I'm not sure if you guys, for those of you living in Canada, are aware, but there's a gigantic petition being signed online, basically against no confidence pertaining to the Trudeau government, right? And when I last checked this, it's had well over 300,000 signatures. That's incredible, okay? So I feel like Canada will be going through a bit of a shakeup. In fact, I think what I'll do right now is I'll look at a reading for Canada in regards to what will be happening with the Trudeau government, okay? The Trudeau government happening in 2024, what is going to be happening with that? Let's take a look and see what we got. With the United States government, it's pretty obvious, right? They're still going to be running the whole campaign trail, but like I said, I can basically say that Biden will definitely not remain. That's kind of an obvious one there. But let's take a look and see what is ahead for the Trudeau government for 2024, okay? All right. Looks like they're going to be taken out of the picture, I think, in 2024. That's really what this symbolizes. What's ahead for the Trudeau government? They're not going to be in power anymore. I think that basically this is the whole idea, is there's going to be some big changes taking place behind the scenes. There's going to be some bigger consequences that are going to come up, and we're looking at the ruin and defeat and complete and total destruction of the Trudeau government, okay? So basically it says that 2024 seems like a sunshine year for Canada, okay? Looks like there's going to be something really, really big that is probably going to start right from the get-go, okay? I think it'll be right in the first quarter. People are actually going to be really happy about this. Something really, really big for Canada is going to happen, I'd say, very early on in the early part of 2024, okay? So there's a lot of support being done behind the scenes. People are coming together, right? The stars are with you. You're getting assistance. You're getting help to basically take this current government out of power, okay? There's a lot of strength. There's a lot of courageous people out there that are now starting to move. Like I said, there's the king on the chessboard, right? They're now going to start moving in on the king. And I think that's exactly what's going to be happening here with the Canadian military. Okay, the Canadian military and the American military are working together. They are a joint operation. and they're going to be working together in sequence. So, okay, we're going to take care of this on the American end. You guys take care of this on the Canadian. Hey, no problem, you got it. Right? And they're going to coordinate like clockwork, and we're going to see a whole new infrastructure take place, right? The landscape is going to change for Canada. So this is a really good reading from what I'm getting here. We're seeing pretty much the complete and total downfall of the Trudeau government, right? And it may happen very early in the year, right? That's kind of the feeling I'm getting right now, that this may happen pretty quickly. This is not going to take too long. So some big things are going to be coming together, I'd say, probably between January and March, right? Looking at the first quarter, seeing how things go with the Canadian government. Now, knowing them, they're going to try and stall, they're going to try and buy some time, but I think they're out of time to try to buy. That's certainly how they've done it in the past, but I think that their borrowed time is now ending, all right? So very, very good news for Canadians. Very good, me being one of them, of course. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at see what we have further. We got a lot of people coming on here today, guys. Welcome everybody who's tuning in. Just remember, guys, you have to be a subscriber, right? So feel free to subscribe to the channel. Then you can join the chat and you can ask questions. Okay, so I basically have it set to subscribers who can ask questions. Okay, this one here is from Alina. Alina says, Brad, what can the cards say about the credit system? It's possible this absurd and obsolete financial credit system to be changed for something positive for the people. Why don't we take a look at that at 2024? Let's see how things are going 2024 as it relates to the credit system, right? What can the cards say about the credit system? Is it going to be changed? Is it going to be moved? Is it going to be overhauled? Is there going to be some type of revealing that the credit system is actually going to be getting cleaned up, right? Let's take a look and see what the cards say about that. Well, the cartels still control it, right? So again, the whole idea is that when those cartels are moved, the credit is going to change, okay? But credit in that sense is a debt-based system. It's not really something that's going to be beneficial for you. It never really has been beneficial. It's basically just been created out of debt, right? It's a dark cabal invention, right? It's all just based upon debt. So basically I would say the credit system, really when you look at the fall of the cartels, is basically going to fall just completely together. I don't really know what's going to be in its place. I don't even know if you'll even have something with credit when you're looking at new financial systems, okay? So again, there's a lot of people in that sense that are very confused about the credit system and saying, can this get cleaned up? Can we clean up credit systems? Well, this whole credit system is created out of debt, right? It's created out of greedy corporations. It's basically just corporations giving you a little bit of crust so that they can have the whole pie of yourself, right? Even you as an entity are basically born in debt, right? And David Straight actually does a very good job talking about this as well too, about how you're basically just born into this world with debt. Now, of course, these are all Maya things, but nonetheless, it's important to look at it and say that, you know, credit systems and all that stuff, basically the whole governments of the world in regards to their nature of corruption have been profiting off you since the day that you were born. And that your own value, if we're putting a material spin on it, you basically have about $100 million worth of yourself, right, as being a sovereign being. You know, basically looking at it and saying that you have a trust, and that this trust basically includes you basically having $100 million representing yourself. But you basically have governments that are screwing everybody over that represents applications and contracts, telling you absolutely nothing about the natural value that you have that you could actually get access to, and they just start throwing these applications at you, and you start signing the dotted line, and you're basically giving them permission to mooch off the natural value that you have as a living entity, right? And so again, there's quite a few people that talk about this, but that's really what's been happening. This whole idea of credit really doesn't exist. Credit itself, guys, is a fraud, right? Credit is not a good thing. It's fraud. It's complete and total fraud. It's never been beneficial. It's never been good, right? And this is basically why I say it's probably just going to fizzle out. because it's not legit, it's not constitutional. There's nothing in regards to the nature of credit that is law-abiding or that is actually lawful. Okay? It's nothing but entities feeding off of you. So, okay, well, we'll get the big bunch of the pie, and here's some crust at the end of the pie. We'll throw you that crust. There you go, right? And then you're indebted to us for the rest of your life, right? A mortgage. And David Straight was really good about this as well, too. A mortgage is basically just a life debt. It's a debt that you have until death. It's like a death certificate, right? And they're basically just feeding off your funds. And this is not even their funds, right? You basically have, you could say, that sovereign fund of yourself. That's yours. But what's happening is you're getting all these tricksters throwing all these applications and contracts at you and signing a dotted line and making sure you're signing this. And all they're doing is you're basically telling these guys, sure, you can legally go into my name and steal my money and then sell it back to me. That's what this is all about. And this is, again, where they bring you into a slave debt system. A debt system is a slavery system. And that is what you have been a part of since day one, since you were born. Okay? And if we really look into a lot of these loopholes that are in the system, you have the ability to counteract them. And this is why, again, you're looking at someone like David Straight. Right? He does a very, very good job. There's also been some people from Canada as well, too, who have also shared similar things. The Canadian Charter and the Constitution of the United States are very similar in that way. So even if you're looking at American and see what they're saying, it is somewhat similar to what Canadians are going through as well, too, with their own charters and so forth, right? So again, you really don't want credit, okay? Credit is garbage. Credit is a scam. Credit is fraud, right? And if you guys really know, when you start really going into law and you start looking at all these things, really the law of the land involves simplicity. It does not involve such complexity, but they're making all these things complex because they're throwing all these confusion agendas at you. Whereas behind the scenes, everything really is just simple, right? It's the idea in that sense of, you know, here you are as a sovereign being. Here you are as what God itself, God himself, herself has brought to you, where you are holding dominion over all things, right? So there's a whole corruption behind everything. Credit is not legit. Okay? It is never legitimate. Can you guys find anything in your Constitution regarding the legitimacy of credit? There's none. It's nothing but an invention. It's nothing but a scam. It's nothing but a fraud. Okay? So why would you want credit when it's built on scams, when it's built on fraud? Okay? So no, it is going to plummet. It is going to die. When, again, everything pertaining to this indebted system is exposed and taken out, there will be no more credit, there will be no more taxes, there will be no more debts, because those are falsities. Why? Because what the United States and what Canada and many other countries together are moving into is constitutional living. Okay? Constitutional living, charter living, that is where countries are going to start moving into. And what does that bring? That brings independency. Do you remember what I've said going back several weeks? When you start to see countries going independence, which means they're actually moving back into their own constitutional laws, that is independency. That is the end of debt. That is the end of slavery. That is the end of fraud, right? That is the end of corruption. And that is where humanity is going. Okay, I can't say we're going to go there in 2024, but we're certainly moving in that direction. People have to be educated about this. You have to know exactly how money exists, about how you're able to get all of these things that are taking place where these companies are telling they're going to give you money, but then they're getting much more money out of you than you are getting money yourself. And they're reaching into your own bank account. They're stealing your own money. And they're, oh, okay, here's a little bit here for you. Oh, the rest is ours, right? And that's exactly how they work. So credit cards, credit equals fraud. Credit equals stealing. Credit equals debt. You don't want that around. You want it to die, right? And as you start moving into constitutional law, it's exactly what's going to happen. There will be no more debt. There will be no more taxes because you are working together in the benefactor of constitutional law. Okay? If you guys want to know more, you should be reading your own constitutions to find out whatever country you're in, whatever your constitution is, whatever your charter is, whatever that may be, read up on it. so that you know exactly how your country was founded and how money was meant to work through your country, through constitutional and charter law. Because that's where countries are going. Okay? That's basically where we're going to be probably as we move maybe later into this decade or early into the next. A lot of it is going to shift into constitutional law. Okay? So it's very good. Very, very positive. That is exactly what you want, right? That is you now starting to turn yourself into a sovereign, to being a personal republic, okay? It is a republic you want, not a democracy, okay? And that is the nature of constitutional law, is that it's a republic, not a democracy, right? That's why they call it a republic of the United States, not a democracy, a republic, okay? Look it up if you don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's go further here. Okay. David of Shield says, the systems are always corrupt because everything that humans touch gets corrupted. New boss, same as the old boss. Well, here's the thing, David. These corrupt systems, not your fault. Okay? Many of you guys here that are, again, just making a living, honest people, loving people, these systems are not your fault. Okay? We have been suckered. We have been bamboozled. The only fault that we've had is that we've been suckered into them. We've been suckered into these things because they're hiding the fine print of constitutional law from you. They're hiding the fine print in that sense about how your country was actually founded, because it never involved any of this corruption whatsoever. These are nothing but proxies. These are nothing but parasitical beings that are utilizing the nature of false laws and false bylaws through corporations to sucker you. And you guys have been sucker punched, right? We've all been sucker punched. And that's the only fault that we have. The fault is that we're too naive and too ignorant and too gullible and not looking into the nature about how our country itself was founded and how the constitutional laws were created and what is the real law. That's what we've been sucker punched with. But you guys did not create these corrupt systems, right? We may say, okay, well, on a metaphysical level, okay, yes. That's all part of our journey that we need to work past. But this is the antidote to that. When you start looking at your roots, you look at the source, because a country is an entity. A country is basically a living being because it's the people that give life to that country. It is the land that gives life to that country. So it's a living being. You need to look at its heart. You need to go back into its roots and see exactly at how it was founded. And by us not knowing this and staying ignorant, it's why you take advantage of, taken advantage of this whole thing. This is basically, and pardon my French, pardon my Martian, this is how we were all being made into slave bitches. Okay? And that's just the same for all of us, right? We've basically become the government's bitch. And that's what's happened. Because we did not look into all of these things that have been peddled in front of us, throwing all these applications, looking into the idea of false law that is really just corporate bylaws and nothing else, that is not true law of the land. And you've been suckered, and you've been sucker punched, and you've been bamboozled, you've been swindled. That's what's happened. That's the only fault that we have. The only fault that we have is that we've been suckered into this, all right? But these systems that are corrupt are not your fault. Okay? I want you guys to remember that. It's very important to keep that in mind and do some research. Read your Constitution, right? And I would even say, guys, read the Bible, because the Bible is actually one of the founding documents that America and Canada have been built upon. Canada and America both were built on the biblical nature, the biblical essence of these countries. Both of them, right, were built on the Bible. You guys should read the Bible. Right? Not telling you guys to be Christian or Catholic or anything of that nature, but just give it a read, right? And then you'll understand a lot more of these things. Like I said, the entire nature, the foundation of countries is built on an occult book, right? It's built on the occult. It's built on the spiritual. It's built on the inner being. That's the whole idea. And that's just being the vessel for it. So be good to read that. Okay? Let's go down here a little bit more. Here's one from Liliana. Liliana says, question, going through the crumbling system, will it change the production of our food supplies? Well, food supplies are definitely going to be changed, but let's take a look at that a bit more. About will the production of our food supplies change with this crumbling system that's taking place right now? Okay, let's take a look. Most definitely it's going to change, yes. Okay. And it's already starting to change already. So there's a lot of confirmations here. Is it going to change? Is it going to go through a new phase, so to speak, as things start to crumble together? So the advisement cards are saying yes, new things are happening, new changes are being implemented, right? But it is going to take some time, right? It is a transitional phase, okay? But yes, new ideas, new concepts, everything is now starting to come together. Again, this is the Page of Swords. Swords representing air, representing thought, new ideas, okay? But again, it's going to take time for it to move into alignment, right? For it to become cohesive. But we can say in the idea, yes, food production is certainly going to change. It's going to be a bit of a timely situation. It's going to take a little bit more time, but there's a lot of support, okay? This is also representing a support card. I'm not talking about extraterrestrials or anything of that nature, but this truly is a support card, okay? So there are agencies that are basically helping to turn things around, removing a lot of poisons, not only from food, but from water supplies as well, too. And I also feel in the future that organic foods, actual good ones, are not going to be so expensive anymore. They're going to be brought down in price. Now, again, this is where I say there's going to be a lot more time that's required for that to happen. But this is also the progress. Okay, this is the past card representing the Ace of Pentacles. There's going to be a complete and total overhaul pertaining to food. Okay, so present moment in that sense is we're seeing scandals pertaining to our food production. We're seeing whistles being blown. We're seeing what's actually in our food. It's disgusting. Okay, but here we go with the Lover's card, right? And saying that things are going to start turning around. There's going to be change. There's going to be cooperation. There's going to be synergy to help change that around. But it will take a bit of time before that is completely out in the open to be changed. Okay, throat's getting dry. So that's what I can say about that. Yes, food production is fundamentally changing already, but it's going to take a little bit more time. Again, a lot of things need to change pertaining to the monetary system, to the financial system, where organic food doesn't cost you an arm and a leg to buy. For you to actually eat healthy isn't costing you half a mortgage, right, when you're going through a grocery store. So that, again, has to change, and it feels like it's going to be. Jamie has summed it up best. The meek shall inherit the earth. There's one of the most important lines in the Bible, right there, right? The meek shall inherit the earth. You got it. Okay. Yep, Jane Evans is saying, lovely to hear. Slowly but surely everything is going as planned. Be positive and stay patient. Keep shining your light. So I'd say just start invoking your change, just like we did in the meditation today, where you're seeing yourselves bring that love, that compassion, that joy. Just start to firstly talk to Spirit to say, Spirit, educate me. And if I don't have the words for it, show me in my life. Show me through material reality people who can help to educate me, who are telling me the truth. And then I can confirm that with my own heart, right? If you feel you do not have the words for your own flow to really get an idea of what's going on, tell Spirit to send someone to you, right? It may be a video on your screen. It could be an email. It could be somebody you bump into, what have you, okay? But if you're not too sure what's going on, you go into your heartfelt situation. You dilate yourself, right? You're moving yourself into expansion. You're going into the subtle state of being, and you're just saying, Spirit, send me somebody. Send me somebody who can really tell me what's going on. And through that sincerity and that love in your heart, it's going to appear, right? You're going to meet somebody. The funny thing is I've had a lot of people say that to me, right? When I've done sessions with them. Say, Brad, I was like asking for someone who would be able to give me more information, and they were doing a session with me. I answered their questions. They felt completely fulfilled by it. And I said, well, I guess you were the one that Spirit sent to me. I said, I guess so. I go where I'm being called, right? And vice versa. So that's the whole idea. This is very real, guys. And there's times too where I ask for people and they show up as well too. It happens to me. right? People ask for something, maybe I answer the call. Maybe some other people answer the call. I ask for something like that. Other people show up, okay? Sometimes in person, sometimes through a YouTube video, okay? That happens. Just remember to ask for support when you need it. If you're not too sure what's going on, tell Spirit to send you a messenger, right? Go into your heart, tune into the divine, and tell the divine, tell Spirit, tell God, just send me a messenger. Show me in that sense through sincerity and truth and heart-filled love. Send me someone who can help me to understand what's going on. Believe me, you'll get it. Just like that. Okay? Because that's happened to me, and I've also been in that position for other people as well too. All right? It will happen. Absolutely. Okay. Okay, Carol Ann asks, hi Brad, is there still a great chance the US government will shut down and military will take over? Well, I've already looked at this a few weeks back, and yes, okay, definitely a chance. I can't 100% guarantee it, but it's certainly up there, right? It's a high chance of government shutdown, right? There's also the idea of the ATM scandals as well too. So basically, in that sense, this is something you guys have to prepare for, okay? And you need to listen carefully. Where the corrupt are basically having their channels closed, they are going to go to any means. They will walk every single low road. They will reach for the lowest hanging fruit possible to make themselves survive, which means going after your bank accounts, which means going after your wealth, which means going after your funds, okay? And you just need to be aware of it. Now, they're not going to get away with it. That's an important thing. But this is basically what that ATM situation represents, okay? That ATM situation about trying to withdraw money from the bank because maybe there's a bank scandal that's coming up, okay? And banks themselves are all just slaves to the higher-ups anyways. So it is very, very likely that many people's bank accounts will be attacked, okay? Doesn't matter what bank you're with. I don't care if you bank locally. I don't care if you bank nationally, whatever. Pretty much everybody's account is vulnerable. Now, is everybody's account going to get robbed? I don't think so. I think it's only a certain amount. But this is what's going to cause a panic. But I also think it's in that sense that this may also be counterforce as well too. It's just another way, because this is why counterforces let these things happen, because they're basically waking people up. And it's like you're just throwing yourself in a fire and say, come on, don't you feel yourself getting burned? Step out of the fire, okay? It is very, very likely that bank accounts are going to be swindled, okay? And it could happen this year. It could happen in 2025. We just have to be aware, okay? And that's the most important thing. So like I said, you are looking at people that are not graceful, that are not going to bow their heads and bow their hats and say, okay, partner, you beat me. I'll walk off into the sunset in peace on my horse. No. These are psychopaths, okay? These are completely inhuman beings. They're parasites. And if they're constantly getting cut off at every particular source, guess what they're going to do? They are going to go for your bank account. They are going to go for your money. They are going to try and bamboozle people. I don't think it's going to succeed, but nonetheless, this is why I say it would be a good idea for you guys to basically withdraw about 1 to 2 months worth of cash right now, okay? And put that away, okay? Put that in a safe or vault or what have you. That's just something that is for reserve, okay? So you have reserve funds that will basically last 1 to 2 months, okay? And that is what I would suggest, and I suggest you do it immediately. Don't wait, okay? Something I'm going to be doing as well too is taking a few grand out, and that's probably about my 2 months supply, and that's going to go somewhere safe in the place here, okay? That would be a very good idea to do, because it feels like it's kind of like there's a whisper on the wind. You don't know exactly when this is happening, but you feel like it's being carried on the wind, right? And you want to listen to those voices on the wind. You don't know exactly when this is happening. You don't have the exact date, but you said, you know what? It's not going to hurt me to take out a month's supply of money and just keep it with myself, right? So I can take care of food, I can take care of gas, I can take care of my basic needs. So that would be a very, very good idea, okay? And that's just what I can suggest to you guys. I'm not demanding that you guys do this. This is just a recommendation from the flow of the whispers of the wind that's happening right now, okay? The whisper in the air right now is saying, take out your money from your bank account, right? Try and take out about a good 1 to 2 months supply, and have that on hand in your house, okay? Because they are going to go after banks. They are going to go after accounts, okay? Like I said, I think it could also just be a setup for other counter forces to doing that, to lighting fire under people. I think it may not be as disastrous as some people may think. It may just be a small amount of accounts affected, but nonetheless, you're not letting yourself be one of those accounts. And you should tell this to your family, and you should tell this to your friends as well too, okay? It'd be a good idea to start withdrawing 1 to 2 months. And even if nothing happens, hey, there's no problem. I can always put that back if I want to. But at least you have that as a reserve, okay? That is what I'd recommend. Okay, guys, we're almost out of time, so we're going to take one more question and we're going to wrap up, okay? So it's already past 11:30, so. See, everything just goes so fast when you're in the flow. Okay. All right. Okay, I think we're going to probably just end it for that. Let me just look at Chris's question here. Brad, what is the future of polarity therapy? Okay, that's not really a current events question, okay? So guys, please, just only current events for today, okay? Tomorrow you can come back and you can ask me anything outside of current events. You can ask me current events plus metaphysical question, technological questions, all that stuff. I like to try and keep the signposts just for current events. This is just what I was getting through flow before I was tuning into Adronis, so. And I always follow guidance, so what can I say, okay? So when we get back into Signpost next week, and for when it starts moving on to Rumble, we're just gonna handle current event questions, okay? And then when we get onto New Earth TV Live, anything goes. All right, thank you guys for joining me today for this episode of the Signpost Live. Again, I'll be having the link to the Rumble channel up here within about an hour's time, okay? So it's 11:30 a.m. right now. So before 12:30 p.m. Pacific time, I'll have a link up on the video description here, probably even sooner than that. But go ahead and check that out and subscribe there, because that is going to be the future home of the Signposts, effective on January 4th. And don't forget, January 5th, I'll have Janine on here on YouTube, not on Rumble, okay? But on YouTube, it'll be simulcast on YouTube. When I get the recording of that event, that will also be on Rumble as well too. But again, for live viewing, it will be on YouTube. Okay, thank you so much, everybody, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Feel free to join me tomorrow for New York TV Live, 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. Take care, guys. Much love. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, and may be well with you all. Take care. Thank you so much for tuning in to New Earth Teachings on YouTube. Don't forget to check out our websites, newearthteachings.com, where you can do private sessions with me, and also etherics.co. And through Etherics, you'll be able to pick up your Healing Code Cards body deck, your mind deck, and your energy deck through Etherics. You will also be able to pick up the Etherbed kit. That is also on Etherics as well. Not to mention that you'll also be able to pick up some apparel and accessories that is also available on Etherics. Thank you so much for tuning into this video, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next one. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namaskar, and may it be well with you.